What if I told you that raising chickens can be one of the most easiest and rewarding things you can do, even if you have no experience? Today, I'm going to show you step by step how to get started as a total beginner. Let's dive in.
Always works.
So, why would you raise chickens? Well, let's think about it for a moment. You get fresh eggs, you get a natural pest control for your backyard, and you also get free fertilizer. It's a win-win situation. Raising chickens isn't just fun, it's also practical. When you're starting out, it's important to get the right breed that's really easy to take care of. I suggest getting the Rhode Island Red Hen. It's a very easy, very docile chicken to deal with. So when you're choosing the right breed, you want to think about things like temperament, egg production, and also size of the bird as well. So for temperament, you want to make sure that you get a chicken that's easy to deal with, that's very docile, very gentle. And then you may want to get a lot of eggs. So there's places that you can look online that will tell you how many eggs per year a chicken will lay. And different breeds, they lay different amount of eggs each year. Then you can also look up and figure out, say for instance, if you want to get meat chickens. Some meat chickens mature quicker than others. A really easy hen to really mature quickly is the Cornish cross. So most of you are going to start off with chicks. Most of us are not going to buy fully grown hens. So there's a few things you need to get when taking care of chicks. So one of the first things you're going to have to invest in when you get chicks is a brooder. A brooder is important because that is the way that you'll keep your chicks contained, and that's where you keep them at until they're able to move into the coop. So for a brooder, sometimes it's good to use a storage tote, or you can use something like a big metal galvanized container. You can find them in those big box stores like Tractor Supply, Rural King, Lowe's, Home Depot, places like that. Another important item that you must have is a heat lamp. If you don't have a heat lamp, those chicks will end up getting cold, and there's a good possibility that they may die. You know, if you're raising chicks up naturally with the hen, then the hen will take care of the chick and keep the chick warm. But without that hen, you're gonna need something else to keep the chicks warm. So that's why you need a heating lamp for them. And also you'll need things like chick starter grower. That's the feed that you're gonna use for them to eat every day. You'll also need, obviously, fresh water as well. You'll also wanna make sure that you put fresh bedding in there regularly. Some people do it once a day. Some people do it maybe every few days. But as long as you're doing it a few times a week, it's gonna be okay. You don't have to change them every day, but it is good to change them at least a few times a week. I would say at least 2 to 3 times a week. And around 6 to 8 weeks is when you want to transition the chicks into the coop. I recently did a full video about chicks. You can click on that card at the end of the video, or I'll have the link below. A good coop is essential. You'll need enough space, ventilation, and protection from predators. Here's a basic setup to get you started. So there's 2 types of chicken coops that I'm familiar with. First, you have your stationary chicken coop. Stationary chicken coop is simply the chicken coop that just stays in one spot. And then you have something that's called a chicken tractor. A chicken tractor is pretty much a mobile chicken coop, and it has many advantages that a stationary chicken coop does not have. With the chicken tractor, you can move your hens every so often, and you can put them on a fresh plot of grass for them to nibble on and eat. And you also don't have to clean up the chicken manure. They'll just poop in the ground and you can just wash it away. I think the big difference between both of them is work, right? If you have a chicken tractor, you're gonna have to move that chicken tractor every so often, and you're gonna have to set up if you have a electric fence around them, electric netting fence around them, you're gonna have to move that, and you're gonna have to put it up, set it up, and you're gonna have to do that every so often. If you have a stationary chicken coop like me, then you really don't have to do all of those things. And the good thing about a stationary chicken coop is that chicken manure piles in one place. And it's really simple to dig up that chicken manure and put it in your garden. Really, the truth be told, there's both pros and cons with both the chicken tractor and the stationary chicken coop. It really just depends on what do you want to do. What part of life are you at right now? You want to also make sure that your chicken coop is predator proof. Some people use the mesh fencing, and the mesh fencing has a lot smaller holes than the chicken wire does, but I simply just use the chicken wire. As far as your bedding goes, you can use straw, you can use wood chips, you can use wood flakes. If you want to capture manure to use for like a garden, you may want to use wood flakes. That's a pretty good thing, or wood chips, or even straw. It really just depends on what you want to do and how long you want to take for that chicken manure to break down with the wood chips, wood flakes, or straw. I think when you use wood flakes or wood chips or straw, it's going to make the cleanup a little bit more easier than, just shoveling it without, straw or hay or wood chips. Also, having some of those things is good for absorption when it gets wet. It's good to have something in the chicken coop to absorb some of that water so your chickens, that their feet are not always wet. And then if they have wet feet, then that'll end up getting on the eggs and eggs will be dirty. So it's good to have good clean bedding inside of your chicken coop. The next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you have nesting boxes. I would suggest getting at least one nesting box per 4 to 5 hens. And I would make it very easy and very simple. You don't have to build anything. Actually, what you can do is you can buy storage totes, cut a hole in the storage tote, and then you now have a nesting box that is really easy to use and take care of and clean up. But I would get the small storage container boxes, not the huge big ones, because you don't want to take up too much space in your chicken coop up. And also, chickens want to be private. So you want to make sure that only one hen can fit in one box at a time. Feeding your chickens is very simple. You just need to provide the right feed and fresh water to make sure that they're taken care of and that they're healthy. So chickens and chicks, they use different kinds of feed. Now, depending on what purpose you're using your birds for, will depend on what kind of feed you use. So for meat birds, if you're just using them for meat and not eggs, you're going to buy feed that is specifically made for them. And feed for meat birds is going to have a higher level of protein. That way, it helps their muscle development to grow quicker. Now, if you're raising laying hens, they're going to use layer feed. And layer feed is going to have a higher level of calcium. That way, that helps them with their egg production, because every time a chicken lays eggs, they lose calcium. So the layer feed is important because it replenishes the calcium in the chickens. There's many other things you can feed your chickens besides just pellets. You can buy them oats from the farm store. You can buy sunflower seeds. You can buy corn. There's many different options you can use. You can even feed them kitchen scraps. I love feeding my chickens kitchen scraps from our table. When we haven't eaten all our food or there's food that goes bad in the refrigerator, I just throw it out to the chickens. But the easiest way to make sure that your chickens are getting all the nutrition they need is giving them those pellets. It's just a quick and easy way to make sure that they're getting all of the nutrients that they need to be successful meat birds or laying birds. And also, if you can let your chickens free range, that's just another simple way to provide them with nutrients. They'll scratch in your yard and eat grass, eat bugs, and things like that. So I would suggest letting them free range to get nutrients that they normally wouldn't get from chicken feed. And of course, this should be a no-brainer. Make sure that your chickens has access to fresh water daily. You can create your own system of giving your chickens water, or you can just buy a water container that's already built, already made at a farm store. Basic chicken care is about keeping your chickens comfortable and safe. Regular cleaning and providing fresh bedding and making sure that they have enough space is essential for your chicken's health. So something that really should be a no-brainer is you want to make sure that you keep your chicken coop clean. Cleaning your chicken coop up prevents diseases, and it also alerts you to things in your chicken coop that may be going on that needs to have attention. There's times that I've cleaned up my chicken coop that I've found snakes, I found mice, I found things that needed to take care of. And there's even times that I found that one of my chickens crawled into a corner and just died. So you want to make sure that you're in that chicken coop every so often, cleaning it so you can see what's going on with your chickens. Something else that's really important is making sure that your chickens have the opportunity to take a dust bath. You can take things like construction grade sand, diatomaceous earth, dirt, and also wood ash, and you can get a tire. You can put all of those ingredients in a tire, mix it up, and then let your chickens have at it. And I wouldn't really take my time to think on this too hard and measure it out. Just put some of each in it, mix it up, and let your chickens go for it. Allowing your chickens to have access to dirt baths helps them get rid of things like parasites and mites, things that will deteriorate your chicken's health, and it can also decrease egg production and even in some instances cause death. Collecting eggs is one of the best parts of raising chickens. Make sure that you gather them daily and store them properly for the best level of freshness. So when you first raise chicks and you raise them up to hens, it's going to take them about 6 months before you start seeing them lay eggs. So some of the things that you want to do to keep nice clean eggs is you want to make sure that their nesting boxes are clean and they have clean shavings inside of their nesting boxes. And also make sure that their chicken coop is clean as well. If your chickens have clean feet, then more than likely your eggs will be clean as well. Because if they're walking through mud and walking through nastiness, all of those things are going to get on top of the eggs. Now, some people rinse their eggs and they clean them off and they put them in the refrigerator. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing to do. Chicken eggs actually have a protective coating on them, which allows you to not have to refrigerate them. You can leave them out on your counter for weeks, and I promise you that they'll be okay. Me personally, before I cook my eggs, I do rinse the outside of the egg so dirt and whatever else that is on the outside of the egg doesn't get into the egg that I'm actually cooking. And as a reminder, if you're just starting out with chicks, I have a full video teaching you how to raise them up from day one, from the brooder to the feed to anything you need to know. If you want to see that video, just click the link up here. Raising chicks is rewarding and beginner friendly. Start small and just start step by step. You'll get it in no time. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips and leave your comments below. See you in the next video. If you like what you saw today, subscribe and tap that notification bell. Until next time, stay diligent.
Want more? Watch one of these videos next. Don't forget to subscribe to stay updated.